Hello again to another episode on Chromatic Minds, the podcast that interviews synesthetes from all over the globe. This time we have the lovely Constantina. Hello, Constantina. How are you?
Hello, mother.
Everything is good. Everything is fine. Constantina, I want you to tell me a little bit about the types of synesthesia that you have.
So I have lexical gustatory, and it's where you taste words or people's voices.
Wow, this is incredible. You know, there's a very famous book by Richard E. Sidgwick. It's called Wednesday is Indigo Blue. He mentions the three most common types of synesthesia, but he doesn't quite talk broadly about the type that you have. But all I remember is that there's some guy in here that doesn't like the name Brian because it tastes like earwax.
I know.
And
It's
even
based.
as synesthetes, I always thought to myself, wow. And today I am able to taste a sound or names or voices, but not as enhanced. So I would like for you to share your experience.
Oh, you can do that.
Yeah.
How did you develop it? We're gonna talk about it.
How did I develop it? Well, I didn't. It was always a thing. I think for me, it's also with the color of the voice. If I don't like your color, it's not going to taste good either.
That's interesting. Yeah,
How,
so I had it since I was a child,
wow.
but I thought everyone had it.
Wow.
But I didn't know if we all had the same tastes for the same words. But I didn't ask anyone. So
What is your earliest memory? Can you tell which age was it?
um, it was like 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there.
How do you share something like this with other people?
I don't know because I don't remember when I learned about synesthesia the first time.
No, how do you share? How do you share tasting words or voices to other people? How do you share that as a child? How do you say that? What is the
I know, I don't know because I didn't do it.
you kept it to yourself. Wait,
Yeah.
well done. When I was a child, I was like, my synesthesia is something that I would always talk about, like, from the naiveness that children have, and the looks that I would get, like, I was like, I'm not saying this anymore. I'm not using this language anymore. I shouldn't be saying these things to people.
So most names have a taste for me.
Mm,
But it's also some people's voices. Not everyone though.
wow. What's the most delicious voices that you hear?
So I keep having the same food for a lot of people, a lot of names, a lot of voices, and it's a traditional dessert that we have here and in Turkey, and it's called halva.
Ooh, we also have it here. Oh, delicious.
Yeah, it's from sesame.
Yeah, sesame.
Yeah,
Sesame and what and sugar and what more do they add to it?
cocoa powder or almonds. Yeah,
Wow, amazing.
yeah. A lot of voices have that voice, especially if it's an English accent. So accents have a taste a lot of the time.
Accents have it. True. Oh
Like
my God.
a Korean tastes like cashew nuts.
What? Korean this is incredible. I don't experience my synesthesia this way to this depth, like of accents. To me, it's just the color, and I feel like I can more not just taste but more smell someone's voice. That's intriguing. But what does an American accent taste like?
Some American makes me want to drink Coca-Cola.
They have a bubbly voice, I think, right?
I
Their
don't know. I
accent.
don't know why these associations were made, but it's always the same.
This is incredible. This is incredible. And when did you first thought to yourself, okay, Not many people see the world the way that I do. When did it first hit you that
I
you were
think
special?
that I always assumed that everyone did that.
Wow.
Everyone experienced it. But I think my sister told me about someone who tasted names, or actually who tasted people's faces.
What?
And it was in a reality show, and he was a chef, and it was a chef show, like cooking show.
Hmm.
Yeah. So then I started doing research on synesthesia.
Wow, this is incredible. And this is how you go to synesthesia. This is
Yeah.
wonderful. What type of voices do you experience that are disgusting to you? That are like, ugh, I don't like tasting that.
I think some names taste like gas, like Gregory tastes like gas, like the smoke that comes out of the the cars.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like from the output of the car. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
but
that is
it's not that intense.
it's delicate, you know. It's like it's not that heavy.
Yeah, synesthesia in general, that it doesn't bother me.
Wow.
I don't have disgusting names that are very intense. Yeah, it's mostly neutral or great.
And when you drink a cola or Coke, for example, do you hear like the accent also when you drink it? Does it also make you start, maybe translating your own thoughts to English or with an American accent?
No, it
Oh,
doesn't go both ways.
it doesn't go both ways. That this is
Only
very interesting.
sound reminds me of tastes. It's not the other way around.
Mm. What about music?
Music, no, I wouldn't say that.
But the singers, certain singers that sing, don't you taste their voices too
I think it's mostly when they speak.
when they speak? This
Yeah.
is amazing because no, I also see the voices when someone sings, but it changes. So sometimes when we sing, it's not the same voice that we use when we talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not the same voice. Something about the way that we speak is very natural than when we try to sing. It's different.
And I also noticed that when a person reminds me of a taste when they speak, it's sometimes the taste changes because they said a word.
Whoa.
It depends what vowels, what letters the word has. Like for example, I have a person that most of the time their voice tastes like halva, the
Wow.
dessert, but sometimes she tastes of grapes
Wow.
at specific words. But then it goes back to the halva.
This is amazing. This is amazing. And how do you you keep this all to yourself, like in your inner understanding, like, okay, that word tastes like grape. Which word, as an example, could you say that tastes like grapes?
Mm, I think I have to hear it. Like when she says wind, but it's that specific person. It's a YouTuber.
I need
It's
to
not
do
everyone who it's not everyone who says wind. It's with her
it.
accent.
This is
Yeah.
amazing. And when you hear my voice, what do I taste like halva?
No,
Wow.
you don't taste of anything. I have watched another video of you, but unfortunately, I don't.
This is
So I can't
amazing.
lie.
This is amazing. This is amazing, honestly. Like, I mean, I don't know what it would feel for me to, constantly tasting other people's voices that I think I would go crazy. Not that I would go crazy, but it would bother me because I would want to taste it also physically because it sounds
Yeah.
delicious. Yeah.
Sometimes it's very intense. Like I can't stop thinking about it.
Wow, wow, wow.
But of course, if they stop talking, then it's fine.
Yeah, then it's better. And how else do you experience your synesthesia? You seem to have found yourself a way to cope with that.
I can't say that it's difficult and that I have to cope with it because it's like a blind person saying to us, to both of us, like, how can you see all these colors and textures? How can you cope with it? It's so natural.
Yeah. But to some people, it's not natural, and it's a second nature to us. We don't know any other way of living. It's a reluctant action that our brain is just like this voice and halva together, that word and grapes together, and we just ended up embracing it without much resistance or trying to change it, because there is no way of changing this.
Yeah.
And I wonder if your family, you said your sister, was it your sister, does she experience synesthesia the same way?
She says that sometimes she sees, she can taste, oh no, she can smell a person if she sees a photograph, for example.
Wow, she
She
can
has some smells, but it's not consistent, so we don't know if it's officially synesthesia.
Wow, this is amazing.
But
Smelling
she has misophonia. Misophonia, do you know what it is?
misophonia?
Yeah, where you can't stand certain sounds, you go crazy. Like
Yeah, I think I've heard
there are
of it.
specific sounds like chewing, and you can't bear to hear that. You have to leave the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
She
but
has,
I've seen some people say that misophonia is also synesthesia, but I'm not sure about that. I'm not a scientist.
I don't think that an synesthete would walk out of the room. It's the same way with us. We're hearing people that we don't like their voices, and we're tasting their voices, and we get
Yeah,
along. We get along. Life moves on. Everything is fine.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, as a synesthete, um, especially with this special type of synesthesia, I think it's one of the not so common types of synesthesia. Uh, what does it feel like to encounter or speak to someone that tastes the world the same way that you do?
I haven't met anyone.
You haven't met anyone. Wow. So
No.
just you and your sister.
But it's not like I go around and asking everyone if they taste something. But I haven't met anyone. No.
You pick up on these things. I think you pick up on these things. Sometimes when I use certain words to describe music, when I use certain words to describe the art that I'm seeing, or when I use certain words to describe the person that I'm talking about, I can pick up from people by the way that they respond to me, if they're synesthetes or not, with the way that they seem to comprehend what I'm saying. I wanted to ask you, if when you taste food, you also taste it in an intense way.
It differs. Some voices are more intense, but others not so much. And some names are very very light. Like I found that names that have specific sounds, like we have a letter in Greek that is theta. Theta.
Yeah.
It's when you have T and H.
Yeah.
And the names that have that sound taste like wind to me.
Wow.
Or water, like it's very light. But other voices or names are way more intense. But always I find that nothing is too intense that I can't handle.
Yeah, it's like always bearable to you.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay, I'm coping with this.
It's not, sorry.
I wanted to ask, but how do you experience food? If you experience food in the same intensity, what can you describe when you eat food? Because that must be for such synesthesia something very remarkable and divine.
I prefer light tastes.
Light is not so heavy taste.
I don't like heavy foods like spices or salt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's a correlation between those
I
things.
think it is, because if you think about it, I enjoy music because I see the notes and the harmonies flow around me, and I'm able to also pick up any instrument and play music. So I enjoy music in a way that regular people would not be able to enjoy music, because they don't see this psychedelic effect that I get when I experience music. By the way, a part of the psychedelic effects that people have when they experience a psychedelic episode would be tasting the world differently, or tasting in general, craving, wanting to eat something. So it's all connected to that part of the brain that is in charge of our synesthesia. So I think I saw, this is something interesting. I saw a little documentary once, and it was about chefs, and they wanted to check how accurate some people are that visit their restaurant, and in comparison to people that don't like have this accuracy in taste. And they gave out they took out a specific menu, and they wanted to see which one of the people coming to the restaurant was an experiment, but which one of the people coming to the experiment could able to taste and detect more flavors better. And what they did is they did really an experiment that they checked to see if the number of taste cells that one has, it's called taste buds, that one have in their tongue would affect on how they experience taste. And what the experiment showed, that people that had a lot of taste cells in their tongue also had more enhanced smelling sense, and they could really, something about the way that they perceive food made them become much more accurate when it comes to detecting what's inside every meal or dish.
I think I do have a heightened sense of smell as well.
Yeah, and the people that, they told them, well, you have a lot of taste buds on your tongue, and so therefore you are able to detect more ingredients. And they were like, yeah. And then when they started, those specific people, when they started explaining what they feel when they taste things, to me in my head, I was like, they're synesthetes, because the way that they're describing food and the ingredients of it, it's not a normal way for people to talk. They were talking about people that they're reminded by people when they ate that food, and they see shapes when they eat that food, and they smell, and then memory come up. Everything that is a reluctant response that our brain just throws at us would potentially be a synesthete reaction, especially
Maybe.
when someone is experiencing this. Yeah. Go on.
I have sometimes I smell something like clothes or something, and I say that, oh, that smells like the hair of my classmate years ago.
Wow.
I
Amazing.
don't know, but maybe that's normal. I don't know.
It's normal. If our brain does it, then it's perfectly normal. We observe the reality around us, and then it's good that we're extracting it from our subconscious all the time. How do you experience doing daily chores or daily tasks with this ability? If I was to make a grocery list, I think it would be very easier for me to remember everything if every word tasted like something, or a voice would remind me of something that I need to buy.
I know, but mine, it's not every word. But I think that it helps me remember names.
Wow.
Like, for example, there was an instance that we were a group of people and none of us could remember the name of a person we met the other day. And first I got the taste, and then I remembered what her name was.
Yeah, I also do that. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, the color of her name was purple, so it must be something with S and M in it.
Yeah, it definitely helps with memory.
It definitely helps with memory, even through tasting. This is what's incredible.
Yeah.
And I wonder, Constantina, how do you experience sleep?
I have a lot of experiences in my sleep, but it's not something about taste. But if we want to talk about I have lucid dreaming, sleep paralysis often. Like I feel like I float out of my body, or that I walk in the room.
Wow, this is incredible.
I don't know if I want to go there because it's not synesthesia.
Yeah, you'd be surprised to know that more than 80% of synesthetes experience that the entirely dreaming state is lucid dream. And they're finding it much more easier to disconnect from their body and make astral projection, it's called, when you walk around, like you said, that floating experience when you walk around. It seems like, and this is not only you, any synesthete that I've spoken to, they don't experience sleep the same way as other people. Their consciousness is somehow always up, and they're able to do things while they're dreaming. They can read a book, they can review their daily tasks. In my case, it would be rehearsing on a specific piece that I want to do, that I want to practice in music terms. And it's very fascinating for me that during your dreams, you're also experiencing lucid dreams. Would you say that you can float outside of your body more often, or do you have to have like a certain state of mind that you do that?
It happens on its own, randomly. Yeah, I haven't practiced it, but I should.
Doesn't it scare you?
No, because I feel like I can wake up whenever I want. I'm not that scared.
Amazing.
Yeah, I know sometimes I hear people that have sleep paralysis and they couldn't sleep afterwards, like they're so scared.
Yeah,
but I think we can always wake up ourselves.
Yeah. Sometimes when I experience sleep paralysis, it's not scary for me. Like, I think I would say, because I'm not really feeling like I'm about to wake up. I mean, I'm during my dreaming state still. I feel like, yeah, I'll wake up at some point. This is not scary. It's like the consciousness is already awake. So if my eyes are open now, then it's not any different. It's like, oh, I'm not really awake. Okay, let's go back to sleep.
Yeah, and sometimes I see bugs.
Sometimes what?
Sometimes I see bugs like spiders.
Oh, during sleep paralysis, like huge spiders?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I wish I'd see something like this.
One time, that was only one time, but I saw a being, like an angel, but it hadn't wings, with no wings. But it said, "Do not be afraid. We are watching over you."
Wow, this is amazing. It could speak.
Yeah.
Well,
but it had no gender or anything like that. It was just like translucent, white or bluish, but very light and transparent.
Oh, this is beautiful. Sounds very.
One time I was very scared, but it didn't happen again.
I guess it told you not to be scared because it picked up on, maybe you were worried a bit. Yeah, but it sounds very fascinating. I usually don't see anything while I'm having sleep paralysis. I just open my eyes and that's it. I go back to sleep.
Yeah, I usually don't see anything too. I mostly hear sounds, and then I wake up.
What sort of sound do you hear?
Like I'm in a factory, like machines, or like a storm, wind.
Yeah, like you're inside the ventilation of an air conditioner, right?
Yeah.
Why do we hear that? That's amazing. I hear the same thing too.
Yeah, I know. Many people say that.
At which age you discovered that you had synesthesia, and you said that and your sister also knew that.
I think I was a teenager, but I don't remember exactly the time.
And did you went on to study online?
Yeah, I read articles, basically.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What do you think about the battery test if you did it?
I have done a test recently.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's that one because I think there are tests online, but it's mostly for color synesthesia.
True. Mostly, most of the tests online are for chromesthesia and for color synesthesia, grapheme synesthesia too. But the battery test, I think it's on behalf of Richard E. Sidgwick. It's the only consisting and very, very, very long test with many, many, many questions and many features, and they want you to also recognize letters by sound. So I highly recommend any synesthete out there to go online and enroll to that website and do the test and see exactly which synesthesia is strong for you, how many types you have, if and how you experience it in which way, because what they check on this test is how quickly you respond to each question. And this is how they know you have synesthesia. They can ask you the same letter popping up occasionally just to see if you remember that this letter is this color or that color. I don't know how it would work with your type of synesthesia,
Yeah,
because
because I don't see colors when I see
yeah, but
letters.
they would have to check and see like what can you taste something when you hear this? That's incredible. Um, I wonder what is your connection? I know that you can only hear and taste other people's voices, but I wonder what is your connection with nature?
I haven't thought about it. Yeah, I don't think that sounds in nature have a taste for me.
Not just necessarily on the taste thing. What is your general outlook on nature as a synesthete?
I prefer the sea,
I see.
um, because we have a lot of sea in Greece. Like I'm always near the sea,
Yeah.
and I haven't been much to forests or mountains for a long time. And I live in a city, so I'm not very close to nature,
Mm.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. I also live in a city, and I live not so far away from the shore too. We also have a lot of shores and beaches here. I prefer much more of a greenery area and forests and lakes. Unfortunately, we don't have that here. Of course, not like in Austria or Switzerland. But yeah, I feel a strong connection with nature as a synesthete. I think synesthesia also comes with being an empath because you're able to pick up on things that other people might not be able to pick up on that. So as a synesthete, being close to nature is very important to me, and of course, keeping and watching nature.
I know, I agree, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, I don't spend much time.
Yeah, it's okay, me neither. It's too hot. I'll be inside the house listening to the air conditioning.
Yeah, same.
It's too hot, and I've heard that in Greece it's even more hot than Israel. That's crazy.
Yeah, we
Like,
have had the 40 Celsius consistently, but now it's lower.
yeah, also, but we also had that. We even had a little bit more than that, I think. But I've heard that in Greece it's like it's different than Israel. Um, how would you imagine the perfect world as a synesthete?
That's a deep question.
Yeah, it's a deep question. I want a deep answer.
I think that we shouldn't work in a job that we don't like, for example. We should be more connected to each other.
Yeah,
We're very isolated, I find,
yeah,
and a lot of people are very lonely, even if they have friends.
true.
Um, we should have more nature. spend more time outside. I don't know. I think the most important thing is that we should spend time how we like it and not have to work all day. Yeah.
Exactly. I think like you said too, it's a very lonely world, even if you have friends for a synesthete. It's like dealing with all of this at once and not having someone to share it with. It can get lonely. What I have noticed is that you're not the first synesthete to tell me that you have a family member that experienced the same thing. And I think that's a blessing to have someone from your, from your family, from your inner core that's experiencing the same things as you. I knew when I was little, I knew that I'm not going to be able to use the synesthete language that I had as a child in school with teachers. I'm only going to have to come back home and describe the day that I had to my mother, who's also a synesthete, and she'll probably understand me. If there's something that I think that's fascinating about the synesthete, is that how our brain works so fast in showing you the image. It's like a person just opens up his mouth and you immediately, oh, there goes the halva. There it is. Something so reluctant. And to me, it's also with people color. It's like they just open their mouth, and sometimes I do like a little game with myself. I don't know if you do that too. Will this person taste? What color of this person will be? Sometimes I look at people that don't speak, and I wonder what color do they have? What color does their voice sound like? Do you do that too?
Yeah, I do that, but I unless I hear their voice, I can't say for sure.
Yeah, but we're like, we're being prepared in advance. Our brain is like, doing little quizzes with himself. Let's see if we can guess if that person, we could taste their voice.
Yeah, we connect a lot of different things.
Yeah. We connect a lot of things. That's the synesthete language. It's the quick connection that our brain just throwing at us, much like AI or stuff like that. What else did I want to ask you? They say that synesthesia, back at the days, they used to say that synesthesia was a neurological disorder. Now they say that synesthesia is a neurological disorder, but once that the people who have it aren't suffering from it, and quite on the contrary, they seem to be gifted in certain things. Would you consider synesthesia for you as something that is a disorder or something to be proud of, that you get to experience life this way?
Yeah, I think I like it. I wouldn't want it to be taken away.
Mm-hmm.
But it's neutral, and I think it's interesting. I want to learn about more people, different types of synesthesia, and I want the research to progress on that topic.
Yeah. What would you like? I don't know if you are single or married or not yet. Would you like to marry with someone that their voice always tastes like something delicious or something that's not so delicious?
I think that's interesting because I think if you ask me what my favorite names are, my favorite names don't have a taste.
They don't have a taste.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like okay to not, experience that with someone that you're gonna have to be in close relationship to. It's always typing their name and saying their name.
I have friends that their voice tastes of something, but I think I prefer it to not taste if we have to see each other every day.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes there's voices that I don't like to hear. These people, I'm not going to be, interacting with these people often if I don't like their voice and I don't like the color of their voice or sometimes the taste of their voice. I'm not going to answer to their phone. I would hang up the conversation if they call me, and I'll be like, text me. I'm not picking up the phone. So yeah, I wouldn't, if I had like this this type of synesthesia, then I wouldn't want to marry someone that tastes like something sweet all the time.
Yeah, exactly, because it might be something delicious, but again, you
it's not a guarantee.
can't have it every day.
Yeah, it's not a guarantee. And as a synesthete, do you think that it would contribute if we'd be able to detect synesthesia from a young age in children?
I think so, yeah.
Why?
They would have other people to talk about their experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And we could see the synesthesia progress from childhood to adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what difference age makes. Yeah, I know some people that paint music, for example, paint what they see when they hear the music, and that's very creative. I don't think I can do something creative with my type, but okay.
I cannot, I'm not a good painter, but I can tell you that I can hear what other people paint. I know the artist that has, I think she's an American, that the girl that can listen to music and she paints the music that she hears. One time I did like an experiment with myself. I went to her website and I checked out her paintings. And I was like, okay, I'm not reading the title of the painting. Let's see if I can hear it and I can detect which song she was painting. And it was quite accurate. That girl has like a liking for Radiohead. I could pick up the tunes from her drawings that were the Radiohead song. So that was amazing to see that.
It's called Sarah Craning.
Yeah. She's so gifted. She's an American, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And this is something that I was like, wow, okay, if I could see that this is the song that she was talking about, how is that even possible? She can see the same, outburst of color that I see in my head when I hear the same song. And I was so fascinated with that. Truly, it was something
done that. Yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, I think you specifically, it's not just the taste in people that what you experience. It's also the texture, because halva is something very, very thick and dense, it's like it's squashed like this. So I can also in my head sort of imagine the sort of voices that you're talking about.
Yeah, it's also the texture or temperature. Yeah.
Yeah. The
example,
text.
Julia tastes like a melted cheese.
Whoa.
It's hot. Yeah.
Melted hot cheese. That is incredible. I don't think I would be able to talk to Julia if I would taste that.
Well, it's only when I hear the word Julia.
Yeah. Also the name Julia. Yes.
Yeah, if it's a name, it lasts for a second. But if it's someone's voice, then it lasts
longer.
A long time.
Wow, that is crazy. And yeah, I think it's very, especially with this type of synesthesia, that I could understand why you wouldn't want to share other people as a child, not now, obviously, that their name might taste like melting cheese, hot melting cheese, and people would look at us and would be like, "What are you talking about?" I think that understanding why our brain does that from a young age and trying to, utilize it. In which way can we utilize this? The fact that you seem to be able to pick up on these things. This is fascinating.
Yeah, and I find that people's appearance plays a role. Like people who look alike or have a similar sounding voice, they taste of the same food.
Wow. So it's not just the voice texture or the frequency, it's also the appearance. You're saying that people have the same shape and they would have the same taste.
Yes, and I think that I'm good at matching people's faces. Like when I see someone, I can think of several other people that they remind me of.
Wow, this is amazing. I also sort of see it sometimes that, our brain just categorizes, okay, this
Yeah,
one, that one, this one, that one. I also see it sometimes when I look at people. I sometimes see it in myself. I look at other girls and I'm like, this one looks like me. That one also looks like me. And usually we also have the same characteristics. For me, in voices, it would be much alike. Sometimes if people have the same shape, the same height, then their voice would probably sound the same.
yeah. And sometimes the person might remind me of one food. Let's say it's a woman, and she reminds me of a specific food when she's not wearing makeup. But if she wears makeup, it's another food. It's another
Ah,
taste. Or if she wears jewelry.
what? That's crazy. Why does the jewelry makes any different?
I don't know. It's so it must not be only the sound for me, but also the visual.
It's like I understood it. You see an image and the image, what happens when we look at something? Our eyes focus on it, and then what they do, they transmit and transfer this data to our brain. And our brain is supposed to analyze the photo that we see. If you look at me, usually what our brain does is throw on you the entire information that it has when it comes to looking at people that look like this. Also in body language, we learn that our brain would define people as either a friend or a foe. That's what they'll do first. So it is like this intuitivity of the brain. What happens with you, and that is very unique, and this is what makes you a synesthete. It's not just this part of the brain and that part of the brain. It's also they're giving messages to the tongue to 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 look at one's picture, and when you look at the picture and you see them with the necklace, and then that's a different object now to focus on. So the taste buds on your tongue are also responding to that in a different way. That is fascinating.
Yeah, I don't know what that happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I tell you how that happens. It's just the neurotransmitters in our brain are just sending signals in both ways, mouth and eyes and mouth, as a reaction to a photo. But it's amazing that I don't think I've ever spoken to a synesthete with this syndrome, and I don't think I've ever experienced it with myself. Textures of something that would be hot or something that would be cold in my mouth. I don't think I even tasted voices that would sound like that. Sorry, that would taste like ice or something cold. Usually it's very dry things that my ear would translate into taste. And it usually goes up my nose first. So if I hear someone and I can smell their voice, usually then I would experience taste, but not the same way that you do. This is fascinating.
Yeah. It's mostly the smell for you.
Yes, it's mostly smell. I have an obsession also with scents. And like you said, if you sometimes taste not voices or people names and brings up an old memory. This is the same thing that happens to me. Sometimes a woman mainly could pass by and I was like, oh, that smells like my late grandmother cream that she had. So I'm like getting memories and visions from my past always randomly when I just get smelling something.
Yeah, I have that every day, yeah. Or I
Wow.
see something and I have different memories.
Well, how is your memory? Is it good or?
Yeah, it's good, I would say.
Mm-hmm. My
I
memory.
remember a lot of facts about um that happened years ago that no one else remembers. Everyone asks me what happened to that day. Exactly.
You're the data, the data source. Yeah, I think that my memory too, it's pretty vivid, especially when I read inside a book. I focus on the words and they just show up to me vividly. And then I'll remember it forever. And this is something that I've noticed that a lot of synesthetes say that their memory is very good.
Yeah.
It's not only that, it's sometimes a subjective feeling that we have towards people that they don't even know about. Can you say what is your early memory as a child when it comes to experiencing the world with those gastro traits that you have?
I think I was like 6 to 8 years old, I think. Or yeah, around there.
And do you remember being excited about new tastes or new
No,
flavors?
I don't remember thinking that it was something weird. I thought everyone had it.
No, but
That's why I didn't tell anyone, because I thought it was just normal.
yeah, of course, we think it's normal what we experience. But have you thought that were you excited about certain tastes and flavors when you eat, I don't know, perhaps the chalva? Because as a child, when as children, when we look at at words or the ABC letters, that's when our synesthesia really focuses on those letters. And then we're thinking, okay, A is red, B is blue, C is yellow, and it's always when it's a respond to something that we visualize as children. Did you focus on or visualize tastes when you were flavors when you were a little girl?
I think that halva, for example, was my favorite food. Like if anyone asked me what your favorite food is, I would say halva. And maybe that's why it's so often. It
Yeah.
comes up often in my synesthesia.
Yeah, so maybe as a little girl, you were like, I really, really love this taste. And then you just ended up, your brain did like, okay, this is something that we love. And each time we're gonna hear a voice of a person, it starts always with the people that you love, and then people that resemble their voices, and then like, okay, this is
Maybe.
amazing. It's like
Yeah.
your brain did control save on that feeling and made it permanent.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's an interesting way of looking at it when we start um, thinking of our brain in computing terms, in computer terms, and not just, our brain that we have.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to add about your synesthesia, or maybe ask me a question?
How many types do you have?
Well, I think I have 8 types. I wrote it down. I wrote it down because I want to say the exact name. Let me see. Of course, hearing and sound. That's my strongest one. That's like this literally bothers me. So, because sometimes I don't want to hear specific sound and I have no choice if it's on the radio while I'm driving.
You see colors.
I see colors, I see visions, not visions of what like prophecy. I see visions of that color.
Yeah.
I see geometric shape mainly. I see the harmony, the scales. And if it's an instrument that I know, then my brain would start telling my fingers to play music, even though I could be driving in my car. I could be hearing a music that's of a guitar, and I'm driving in my car, and my hands supposed to be on the wheel, and they are on the wheel, but my brain is also activating my fingers to want to play those notes, and that is really, it's fun for me because I know how to play music. But if I didn't know how to play music, then I would be very unfortunate in that case. So I have auditory tactile synesthesia, day color synesthesia, grapheme color, hearing motion, mirror, touch, time, space, and visualized sensation. Sometimes I can see and feel the mental stage. that mental state that people have if they're depressed or happy, ecstatic. And I feel it like a ball of energy that walks through me. And usually when that happens, I also hear a frequency and it sounds beautiful like music. So I sit down and I compose it. Sometimes I compose to people that tell me horrible things like someone's wife passed away and how they feel about losing her and the memories that they have of her and the yearning to see her again and missing someone that you cannot have on this physical world anymore. And I would experience that as a frequency from their emotion. The first thing that I usually would do, I would pick the right instrument and I would sit down to compose that feeling. And I send that to the person, and people responding to it in a wow, like in an immense, intense way. They're really happy to see it. It's like they feel something, and it's being translated into music. It makes them feel serenity inside. So this is my most favorite type of synesthesia, that I can see people emotion and color. And another synesthesia that I would say that is my least favorite, and which adding to one of my obsession, it's the smelling and seeing the color. So right now I'm wearing this very, very sort of gray mint t-shirt. So, and even before I sat down to this interview and I changed my t-shirt, I was like, now I need to wear a perfume that matches this color. And I have a collection of perfumes and I mix and match them so I can get the right color to match what I'm wearing or to match my feeling. And this is something that scents and odors fascinate me. It's fascinating to me. And I always want to smell everything. I want to smell people. I don't know why. I'm also gifting people scents that I think, perfumes that I think would suit them. And this is something that, yeah.
I'm jealous of your types.
Yeah, no, don't be. It's an obsession. It's an obsession. Sometimes when I go to a website which is amazing, a website that's called Fragrantica, and I read the comments that people have on certain perfumes that I haven't purchased yet, that makes my brain just, flicker and taste and hear and I'm like, okay, I need to buy this perfume, and mostly I do blind buys, blind purchase based on the comments on Fragrantica, and it ends up being accurate. It's like something that I'm like, well, always blown away, because smell is built of a pyramid. I don't know if you know what smell is built like, but if you want to build a perfume, then it builds of a pyramid, and it's divided to 3 sections. You got the upper notes, middle notes, and base notes. So it's like a scent pyramid, and the base notes you're supposed to smell only after 2 hours once you spray the perfume. The upper notes only last for 20 minutes, and then you're getting to the middle notes, which is the heart notes, and that's like after 1 hour. And it's just fascinating to me as a synesthete, always gradually smelling my hand. So I think it's an obsession, by the way. It's an obsession.
Maybe.
Sometimes people also comment me like, can you not focus on smelling things around you? Even with food. I don't know if you do that. I am not going to bite into a food if I don't smell it first.
Oh, yeah, I do that. Yeah.
Right? This is something that sometimes people look at me from a side and they think that it's a little bit maybe offensive. Imagine like that you're, I don't know, going and being invited somewhere new and they just, want to give you something to eat and you're smelling the food first. I never knew I did that until people told me like, why are you smelling it? Is it not good? I'm like, no, I just want to let that all sink in.
If I don't like the smell, I don't eat it. I can't even try it.
Me neither. And sometimes it's not about the smell, it's just about something in there is not working out. And I see other people eating this dish and loving it. And I know I cannot. I'm like, I smell it and I'm not eating this. I don't know why. I cannot eat it. So yeah, this is like the synesthesia that bothers me the most.
And I just remembered another type of synesthesia that I'm not sure I have, because it doesn't happen all the time. But sometimes when someone sits in front of a blank wall, like a white wall, I see an outline around their face and I see their aura,
Mm.
but not with everyone. Like a few people I have done that.
This is amazing because I think maybe you need to have like a really strong emotion towards someone for your synesthesia to be activated. In my case, it's zero emotions, just everyone around me. But yeah, a lot of people experience this seeing auras. For me, I don't think I see auras around people. I see their voices. I see literally the particle of your voice flying to my head, whether it's a geometric shape, a triangular shape, or a sphere-like shape. I personally like your voice because it's very oval. It's very oval and elongated. I like it. I
Well, it
don't,
happens with a video also.
yeah, also with the video.
We
It's
don't have to be in person. That's great.
no, also with the video. And sometimes I told you my brain would, sometimes I put the television on mute and I hear the people. This is something I've been doing from a very young age. I'd put the television on mute and I'd listen to people. And in my head, I would visualize what I'm supposed to hear. And I'm like, and then I would, okay, this person has this voice, this person has that voice, and this woman sounds like this. And then what I would do is I would increase the volume and see if I was right. As this was something that I would do as a little game with myself when I was a little girl, but up to this point, I am telling you, I can not hear people, and I already know what they're going to sound like. It's insane.
You can play so many games with your synesthesia types.
Yeah. Definitely, I can play online, mute, and still hear everything and be inside the video game, the gaming experience. Totally. Yeah. And I mean the most fun part of having synesthesia in my case is it's the hearing and seeing color, because it allows me to literally pick up any instrument and just intuitively start playing it like it's a second nature to me. Um, so this blows people mind too, because they walk into my house, and I'll send you a photo later because the Chromatic Minds logo is hiding my, I don't know if you could see it, my set behind me. I have over 7 types of different guitars. I play the cello, I play the harp, I play the piano, and people always enter my house and they see all this instrument and they're blown away, and they're like, "Why do you need all this instrument? Isn't it enough for you to just play on one instrument?" I'm like, "No." Each one of them has a different sound. It's like if you tell me you only need to have in life one good friend that you like. No, I want many friends. I want to,
I used to play guitar too.
yeah, really, I used to play guitar. What would it, can you feel from instruments like what you feel with people voices?
No, I'm
Mm.
sorry.
It's a good thing. Then you can play guitar more in a more calm way.
Yeah, I think I remember that I was learning very quickly,
Yeah, because
like you said.
the memory for you is,
Yeah, I didn't like to look at the sheets. I had my teacher play it and then I played it by ear. But now I don't play anymore.
you should maybe on a later part of life. It's always good to
Yeah.
have music. It's always good to have music. It's always good to play music. It's good for our brain. not only if you're a synesthete, it's really good for your brain to practice an instrument and playing. It stimulates both hemispheres of the brain. And what else did I want to ask you? If there's a message that you could give to other synesthetes out there that experience your type of synesthesia, what can they do?
I think they should reach out to scientists that are conducting research on it, or people like you, and so we can learn more about our type, because it's not very talked about. There's Jamie Wanderton. And it's the only person I know who has this type. And there are videos of him online.
Wow, that is I didn't even know you could feel this into this sort of impact. So yeah, reaching out, talking, sharing experiences. At the end of the day, like I told you earlier, sometimes I feel I when I started this project, I never thought that I would get to meet a lot of fascinating synesthetes that would make me feel like I'm not that special anymore. A lot of people see the world the same way that I see the world, and their brain is thinking and operating the same way that I do. It's the way that we talk, it's the way that we interact with other people, it's the way that we go to sleep, and it's the way that we wake up. It's there with us every day, and it doesn't matter really which type of synesthesia you have. It could be any one of that 80 types, 3 or 5 or 4 or just one, and still our brain, there's something very mutual and alike when it comes to the synesthete brain. And this is something that I would like, with talking to these fascinating individuals, including you, this is something that I personally, as a synesthete, would like to learn more and more about, because it's just beautiful to see and witness it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, gorgeous, Constantina. Thank you so much. So if that'll be all, if there's anything else you'd like to add, that'll be all on my behalf. I think you definitely, I don't know if you've noticed it throughout the interview, I've been doing a lot of, because I really want to eat halva now. I really want to eat halva, and I don't eat halva in my house. I really, like, you gave me like a lot of, it's just that you say halva. I smell halva and I want to eat it now. Yeah.
It's contagious.
It's contagious. This has been one juicy interview, and I'm really hungry now.
I hope you find some.
Yeah, I hope so too. If not, then I have Nutella in my house for sure, and I'll eat that. A jar of Nutella is always good. Wow. So thank you so much again, Constantina, for joining me on the Chromatic Minds podcast. It's been a pleasure, and I do hope we get this chance to do another interview, or maybe meet more, gastrolactile synesthesia people that would share their experience in tasting other people, faces, voices, auras, words.
Yeah, me too. I hope that, and I hope your podcast goes well.
Amen, sister. So thank you. Let's see you until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.